Question for you. Is there a team that guarantees drama and chaos more than Manchester United does in the Champions League this season? Another absolute classic from them. Well, Group F is going crazy at the moment as PSG escaped with a draw. What's up, everyone? My name is Adrian. Welcome to my channel. And hey, if you aren't already, you should follow me on Instagram and TikTok as I post short form content over there. Also, we'll have a live stream this Saturday for the Euro 2024 group stage draw. It doesn't clash with any matches except for, well, Lazio versus Cagliari. So come through, watch the reaction live with me, give your thoughts, and then you can be on your merry way and enjoy your Saturday. And let's be on our merry way in this video. Man United versus Galatasaray, two teams that were just beating each other down with simply playing balls over the top in behind the defenders. Well, that was more so the kryptonite for Galatasaray. They're open, but Icardi came close to punishing Harry Maguire, if not for one of the closest offside calls you'll see. Those automated offsides, man, love how fast they are compared to the other systems across Europe, where the VAR officials are using Microsoft Paint to draw little lines on the pitch. Anyway, got ahead of myself there. As United started this game well, thanks to goals from Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho just smashing it into the roof of the net when it came to him in space at the back post. And Bruno, this was vintage Bruno, man. We saw him do this in Portugal all the time. Mind you, he was shooting from 20, 30, 40 yards on sight back then. Stunning, powerful strike into the top corner for 2-0, but Galatasaray pulled one back and nearly leveled before the break with that close Icardi offside. Their first, a free kick from Ziyech, which was tame as hell, didn't take a deflection, but caught Onana stepping to the side to cheat and then get beat with the tamest of free kicks. That was very poor from him. United got a third in the second half from Scott McTominay. Hey, another opportunity for me to show off this tweet. I know you guys aren't sick of it yet. But Onana was back to his worst once again, letting in another Ziyech free kick and an even worse one than before. The one break that I will maybe give Onana is that perhaps he was put off by this half-committed attempt at jumping to head the ball clear by Anthony Martial. That is the only thing that I can come up with as a defense for Onana, as you know, I feel obliged to find something for him rather than just say, ha, yeah, he's shit, you know? Because he's not. He's not. He just makes, well, I guess if you have this many clangers, maybe you are, I don't know. He's not crap. He's just a roller coaster. But hey, at least the third goal from Galatasaray was a good one. Ball forward from Ziyech, one touch from Aktürkoğlu, and then he ripped it in at the near post. If this was De Gea, just to be fair, you would hear tons of, there's the near post weakness, it strikes again. You'd hear a ton of that. Muslera, on the other hand, with a match-saving save at the end on Police 3, United have now dropped 8 points from winning positions in the Champions League, more than any other team, according to TNT Sports. Not a great record to have. Optimists would say, well, hey, you gotta have a lead to lose it. Am I right? Bayern and København played out a 0-0 draw, meaning København snapped Bayern's 17-match winning streak in the Champions League group stage, so well done to them. Second of all, it's all to play for as København host Galatasaray and United host Bayern. The last time those two played, it was another classic, so I'm looking forward to that match. Arsenal made really light work of RC Lens. There was a point in the first half where it felt like they would score with every single attack because they basically did. We're talking goals in the 13th minute, the 21st minute, 23rd, 27th. The 27th was a stunner, by the way, as Martinelli turned his man inside out before arrowing it to the far corner. Lovely stuff from Arsenal. 5-0 at the half, playing at home against RC Lens, who, like many French sides in the Champions League, look great coming into the competition after a solid domestic campaign in the last term, and then absolutely collapsing in the Champions League. Arsenal win this one easily, by far, and are absolutely cruising in this group. Sevilla versus PSV was a fun little match, as Sevilla were also cruising at the beginning, playing at home, and then Ocampos threw it all away with 2 yellows in quick succession. The first for argument, the second for a silly foul. That sent PSV on their way, and a massive credit to the Dutch side as they brought it all the way back and won the damn thing in the 92nd minute with a goal from American striker Ricardo Pepi. Comes on in the 82nd, wins it 10 minutes later. Massive goal, as you can see. That puts them on 8 points, 3 ahead of Lens. Now, the problem is, PSV host Arsenal next, while Lens plays Sevilla at home. Union Berlin were close to grabbing what would be an incredibly rare win for them this season. Playing away to SC Braga, they were a man up and a goal up. Then they got some of that Man United habit in them, I guess, before they let it all go. Not completely, as Braga equalized, but never went ahead. 1-1 there. Come on, Union, you're a German team playing a Portuguese team. You should be winning this. Real Madrid and Napoli. Wow. Jude Bellingham, unbelievable. Rodrigo, he's accepting apologies for those who wrote him off and said he was trash at the start of the season. He's special. I mean, I remember a few years ago, I said he'd be better than Vinicius. I don't know if I was right about that, though. Vinicius is special in his own right when he's on form. I guess the difference maker will be just who can keep up their form. You know, that's ultimately what separates players. You can reach a height, sure, but how long can you maintain it? How frequently can you reach those heights? It's going to be close between them, man. I'm excited to see that sort of mini battle that Rodrigo and Vinicius will have, that friendly competitive rivalry. But anyhow, Napoli actually opened the scoring before Rodrigo scored, and well, look at what our friend Domenico of Napoli Talk pointed out. Meret, what are you doing, man? To be fair to him, despite conceding 4 goals in this actually, I changed my mind. I won't say that he was hard done by, as he could have done much better on a couple of goals, but he made some decent saves as well. There's just 2 glaring mistakes that he made. Bellingham's goal was a great header by the Englishman, but that ball in from Alaba was perfectly placed. Perfect pace for someone to run onto and guide past the keeper. Bellingham later set up Joselu for a goal and an assist in this one. Nico Paz, the 19-year-old Argentinian, scoring his first senior goal, and at a decent one at that. I mean, again, Meret, that was the other goal he messed up on. And Joselu with the final one, as mentioned, for 4-2 win for Real Madrid. Pretty comfortable in the end. They were already qualified. Now there's an exclamation point on that. Napoli will host Braga in the final match day, and Braga would need a decent win at the Maradona to advance. Napoli just need a draw, and they're cruising. Red Bull Salzburg and Real Sociedad played out a 0-0 draw. Sociedad, of course, had already secured their place in the next round, as this group is absolutely tilted at the top. Inter and Sociedad already through with 2 matches to go. Benfica looked fun in the first half, as João Mario got a hat-trick against what is essentially Inter Milan's B team that took to the pitch at the start of this game. But there was a reason why I wasn't celebrating too much in that first half. This version of Benfica is not good at all, unfortunately. You just got to accept it, you know? Now, some said that there was a foul on Rafa in the build-up to Inter's second goal. I don't necessarily agree with that, as I thought it was shoulder to shoulder, and Rafa was just a bit, well, you know how Rafa is. But Inter's third goal, 100% a foul on João Neves at the other end of the pitch that wasn't called. Inter go in the other direction and win a penalty. Everything that followed on João Neves or Jon Snow was Bozo Benfica, though. Otamendi thinking he didn't make contact, but he did. Antonio Silva, he got himself sent off later because of course he did. It was just poor all around, but you got to ask why that foul wasn't called on João Neves. Getting a little sick of this with Inter. As you can see here, 2 occasions that could have been penalties for Benfica when we last played them in the previous edition of the Champions League, but also sick of Benfica's really shit form this season. Just kind of going into every match sad from the beginning, you know? Anyway, Benfica didn't deserve anything thanks to that second half performance, and we're pretty much locked in for last place, so as you can imagine, there was little joy found in this match for me. Now it's just a battle to maybe, hopefully, get into the Europa League. We'll see. Playing away to Salzburg next, so that's not going to be easy. Atletico Madrid roll on and on and on, but this isn't Oliver Tree. It's Simeone and the fellas playing away to Feyenoord and coming away with a 3-1 win. It was a scrappy one, that's for sure, as 2 of Atletico's goals were own goals, the third of which coming from a beautiful flicked header from Feyenoord striker Santi Jimenez into his own goal. Mario Hermoso was the only Atleti player to score on the day, and once again, Antoine Griezmann was the best player on the pitch for Atletico in my opinion. Respect to Riquelme, of course, who was the official man of the match. His reaction was very cute. I don't know if you guys saw that viral video. But Griezmann continues his dominance for Atleti and Atleti's dominance in this group. Well-deserved win there. The other match, well, Maurizio Sarri decided to keep Immobile on the bench to start, and he clearly took that personally. In the second half, Immobile contributed to the suffocation of the stadium announcer as he scored 2 goals in just 3 minutes. That stadium announcer says the goal scorer's name so many times. I know, it's a thing, I get it, but As I was watching on Tuesday, I felt like he gave Napoli stadium announcer a run for his money. Surely you remember the Napoli stadium announcer video when Gonzalo Higuain scored and he said his name 9 times. Great impact from Immobile, as their Champions League position kind of belies their domestic form, where they are a bit shaky. But in the Champions League, it is confirmed that they are through to the next round. In fact, every single place is confirmed in this group already. Celtic will be bottom, Feyenoord to Europa League, where they will definitely do some damage. Lazio and Atleti are through. PSG taking on Newcastle at the Parc des Princes, and it was Newcastle who brought the Boo Boys out of Paris, as they were quite comfortable playing away to PSG, the same team they smashed at home. Livramento was brilliant for Newcastle once again. He only recently returned from a full year out after blowing his ACL with Southampton, so it's great to see him back and absolutely thriving. The most un-English sounding man in the world, Tino Livramento, but a baller who was at the heart of Newcastle's opener in this one. Advanced the ball well, ran through the entire back line, then dished wide. Big rebound from Donnarumma, not great from him, but it was tucked away by Isak very cleanly. PSG were better in the second half. In the end, they racked up an XG of 4.47. So according to Opta, they had a negative differential of 3.47, which is the lowest recorded since the 2013-14 season. That's tough. They perhaps should have had a penalty earlier in the second half, but it wasn't given. Then when the ball comes off of the body and then the arm of Livramento, it was given. This is confusing for Premier League supporters, of course, as the Premier League opted to adjust the handball rule slightly so that when the ball comes off of the body and then the arm, typically won't be given as a penalty. Just recently in a Chelsea versus Man City match, that was the case when the ball hit Reece James's body and then the arm. However, in UEFA competitions, they can be given, and that's led to 20% more penalties in the Champions League than any other league. Do I like seeing that? No, I don't, but that's the rules they're going with. So Mbappe converted the penalty as you would have expected him to, and then Barcola missed about 4 chances in this game, one of which came directly after Mbappe had equalized. Guy couldn't climb high enough, so it was always going to be difficult keeping that header down, but 1-1 the final there. Despite their domination in the attack, it again felt like PSG got away with it. But PSG will have to face Borussia Dortmund away in the Champions League in their next match, and they'll have to beat a Borussia Dortmund side who have been great in this campaign, or else they could go out. Borussia Dortmund have only lost at home once this season, and that was against, go on, guess, you know the answer, yes, Bayern Munich, which is at this point basically an auto loss every time they play them. Dortmund were brilliant against AC Milan, both in the attack and defensively. A big shout out to Mats Hummels, who put in a man of the match performance on the night. Perhaps if Milan had the injured Rafael Leão instead of Pulisic on the flank, they could have had more joy, as the American was relatively ineffective. His passing was on, but he failed every single time he tried to beat his man on the dribble. Literally 0 for 5. Chukwueze was the one guy to score for Milan, as Giroud had a penalty saved early in the match. Nice one from Kobel. And then Royce showed him how to convert a penalty. In the second half, the Englishman, Jamie Bino-Gittens, put Dortmund ahead, while Karim Adeyemi, channeling his inner Willian with that haircut and performance, got the third for Dortmund. 3-1 away at the San Siro against a Milan side that is drowning in injuries to begin with, and they picked up another one in Malik Chow. So as you can see, Dortmund tops the group and will host PSG in the final match day, while Newcastle United will host AC Milan. Grudge matches all around, man. Flip a coin for this group. The standings will probably move quite a bit. Group G, my enemy, as you guys know by now. That's not the fault of the teams that are in it. It's the rigged Champions League draws, of course. Manchester City versus RB Leipzig, for example, because as pointed out by another friend of the channel, Amos Murphy, this was the 6th time that City have played Leipzig since 2021. I'm tired. And my tired distaste for this predictable group aside, my bitching and moaning completed. What a comeback from City. Honestly, you know what that halftime team talk from Guardiola was like after City were 2-0 down at home thanks to a brace from Openda. That was definitely a nobody talk, sit down, drink water halftime for City, you know?
Sit down, nobody talk, drink water and relax.
Phil Foden is out of this world at the moment. A goal, an assist to Haaland, and then Alvarez with the other for City. The way that City moved the ball around in the build-up to that winning goal looked like they were moving in fast forward compared to Leipzig. Goal itself was a bit scrappy, but everything up to it was lovely. Again, Foden playing a big role in it, taking part in all 3 goals of that comeback. The other match in Group G was a battle to see who would claim Europa League. And thanks to 2 first-half goals, Young Boys won the match at the Wankdorf, the plastic pitch palace. Go on, Young Boys. They have third locked in, while City have absolutely sprinted away from their competitors and could give good old Scott Carson a run out against Red Star in their final match. And finally, Group H, where it's been a little bit spooky for Barcelona lately. And with all of the pressure on Xavi and the rest of the squad, Porto taking the lead will have made things even worse for them. However, thankfully for Barca, they have a first season Cancelo in their side. The best version of Cancelo is that first season Cancelo. And he canceled things out immediately with a great goal. His first time playing on the left for Barcelona, I believe. And he cut in and scored like a winger. I wonder what position he may have played when he was younger. Later, João Cancelo would set up João Felix for a lovely goal from the 2 Portuguese Johns, John to John. They would hold on to win there 2-1 over FC Porto, but still, the performances are lacking from Barcelona. Also, has anyone seen Robert Lewandowski? Besides a brace against Alaves, he hasn't looked himself lately. Keeping an eye on you, big man. Now, I won't speak at length on this match, but Shakhtar defeated Royal Antwerp, who just cannot get a point for the life of them in this campaign. It was 1-0 in this one, and look at this table. Wow, man, Barcelona are through to the last 16 for the first time in 3 years, while Shakhtar and Porto will face off in Porto in a winner-takes-all scenario. Well, Porto can go through with a draw. A draw takes all for them. But a win for Shakhtar, and they will advance at Porto's expense. Loser goes to the Europa League. Very exciting. I cannot wait for those matches. Group F, Group H, Group A will be wild. But anyway, that's it from me this week. Thanks again for watching the videos. Like I said, I'll have some short form videos published on the socials tomorrow. And we will have that live stream on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time here in North America. Not really clashing with any big matches unless you care about Lazio versus Cagliari. All right. Hope to see you then. Ciao.